Millionaire falls for new receptionist in a wheelchair and struggles with his own feelings, but surprises everyone in the end. Alexander West is a young and ambitious billionaire who built his tech empire in New York, a vibrant city full of opportunities. He is known for his sharp intelligence, relentless determination, and a luxurious lifestyle that borders on the excessive. Despite all his success, Alex carries a deep emptiness that neither his vast wealth nor his superficial relationships can fill. At 35, he lives a cold and predictable routine where his business thrives, but his emotions are dormant. The story begins on an ordinary day in Alex's life, showing his sophisticated and lonely world. He's in an important meeting with investors, surrounded by professionals and assistants who always say yes to everything he asks. But despite everything seeming perfect, there's a sense of loneliness and lack of purpose in his life. He travels from his luxury penthouse to his company in a sports car that symbolizes his success, but also reflects the emotional void he can't fill. Meanwhile, in the same building, Emily Carter, a newly hired receptionist, is adapting to her new job. Emily is a strong, determined, and incredibly positive woman, despite facing enormous adversity. After a car accident left her paralyzed, Emily had to restart her life both physically and emotionally. In a city as competitive as New York, Emily found the strength to move forward, which shows in her smile and attitude, even while facing daily challenges. Her wheelchair doesn't define her. What defines her is her resilience and the sparkle in her eyes that never disappeared. Alex passes by Emily for the first time in the company lobby without really noticing who she is, as he does with everyone who isn't in his immediate circle. However, things start to change when his personal assistant unexpectedly leaves, and Emily, being the receptionist, is temporarily assigned to assist him directly. This is their first significant interaction. To Alex, Emily is just a new, temporary employee, but something about her calm and optimistic personality unsettles him. As days go by, Alex begins to see Emily differently. He notices how she handles everything with grace, treats everyone with kindness, and never complains about her physical condition. He, who always felt suffocated by the superficiality of the people around him, starts to be drawn to something deeper. She brings a lightness and a perspective he has never experienced before, but at the same time, he feels confused and reluctant to admit that his attention is turning to someone outside his usual circle. For Emily, working directly with Alex is a challenge in itself. She knows he's one of the most powerful men in the city, and that his reputation isn't the warmest. Still, she treats him with the same dignity she treats everyone else. However, Emily can't help but notice that there's something different about Alex too. Beneath the cold and controlled exterior, there's a man who seems to carry an invisible burden. The first conflict arises within Alex, who starts to struggle with his own feelings. He, a billionaire used to controlling everything, now finds himself attracted to someone who isn't part of his glamorous world, someone in a completely different position from him and who is also in a wheelchair. Alex questions whether he's ready to let go of his own expectations and prejudices to follow his heart. The pride and image he has built for the world also become internal obstacles he will need to overcome. Emily, on the other hand, is focused on maintaining her job and independence, not wanting anyone to see her as fragile or incapable. She has already faced much judgment because of her disability and isn't willing to let anyone, not even a billionaire, see her only for her condition. As Alex and Emily begin to spend more time together, whether in professional situations or occasional encounters in the office, something subtly changes. Alex's curiosity about Emily grows, and he finds himself observing how she interacts with others, always with patience and kindness. He can't understand how someone who has gone through so many difficulties can maintain such a positive outlook on life. This contrasts sharply with his own perception, where he, despite being a man of immense power and wealth, feels trapped in an empty and superficial routine. However, the closer Alex gets emotionally to Emily, the more confused he feels. He begins to struggle with his own prejudices and internal questions. The idea of falling in love with someone who, in society's eyes, doesn't belong to his world creates an inner conflict for Alex. He wonders if people around him would judge him for being with someone in a wheelchair, if it would affect his public image. and above all, if he would be able to face these barriers for love. Emily, on the other hand, continues to do her job impeccably, but she also notices that Alex seems to be watching her more than before. She feels intrigued, but maintains emotional distance. Emily has learned through her recovery and rehabilitation that she cannot let people pity her or treat her differently because of her condition. She fears that Alex might see her only as someone vulnerable, which she absolutely does not want. Amid this growing bond between them, obstacles arise. The first major obstacle is the return of Alex's personal assistant, who resumes her position. Emily then goes back to her original job at the reception desk, creating physical distance between them. This makes Alex realize how much he had gotten used to Emily's presence in his daily life. Without her around, he starts to miss the little interactions and casual conversations that had come to mean a lot to him. Furthermore, Alex's family and friends begin to notice something different about him. He, who has always been reserved and focused only on his business, now seems more distracted and emotionally involved with something or someone he does not openly share about. In an important business meeting, one of Alex's closest partners casually mentions Emily's presence and insinuates that she isn't the type of person Alex usually associates with. This comment, although made indirectly, makes Alex uncomfortable as it reflects the judgment he so fears facing. On the other hand, Emily starts to grow closer to other important secondary characters, like her friend and co-worker Sarah, who has always been her pillar of emotional support. Sarah is someone who knows Emily deeply and encourages her not to close her heart to the possibilities of love that might come, even if they come from unexpected places. However, Emily still holds a deep fear of opening her heart, especially to someone like Alex, who lives in such a different world from hers. Sarah plays a crucial role in Emily's life, being a loyal and optimistic friend. She has always believed in Emily's potential, even when Emily doubted herself. In deep and motivational conversations, Sarah reminds Emily that life is full of second chances and that despite her fears, she deserves to be loved and appreciated for who she truly is. These conversations help Emily reflect on her own emotional barriers, while Alex, on the other hand, continues his internal battle. Another important character is Robert, Alex's mentor, and an older magnate who has also gone through losses and emotional challenges. During a casual meeting between the two, Robert mentions the importance of finding a balance between professional success and personal happiness, something Alex has never paid much attention to until now. This conversation makes Alex reconsider his priorities and think about what truly brings him satisfaction beyond financial success. The tension between Alex and Emily increases when he finally decides to invite her for coffee after work. Emily, surprised, accepts, but the situation between them is initially uncomfortable. Both are clearly interested in each other, but there is an invisible barrier created by their own insecurities and prejudices. During the conversation, Alex tries to open up but hesitates to talk about his feelings, while Emily, noticing this, maintains a defensive stance, still fearing that he might not see her for who she truly is. At this moment, an unexpected event creates a new twist. Alex receives an international expansion proposal for his company, which would require him to spend several months abroad. This news shakes him, as he realizes that he might lose his connection with Emily before he even has the chance to truly explore it. This forces him to confront his feelings more urgently, while Emily, on the other hand, begins to realize that she might be protecting herself too much. Alex, still dealing with the proposal for international expansion, is torn between following his ambition or exploring the new and deep feelings he has started to develop for Emily. He decides to organize a formal event to celebrate the company's success and use the occasion to get closer to Emily. He personally invites her to the event, surprising all his colleagues, especially Emily, who hesitates to accept. However, encouraged by Sarah, she decides to go. On the night of the event, Emily arrives looking stunning, wearing an elegant dress that highlights her beauty. She is nervous but tries to stay confident. However, when she arrives and sees the number of important people, billionaires, and influential guests present, her insecurities start to resurface. She feels like she doesn't belong in that glamorous world. Let's play a game with those who only read the comments. Write hot dog in the comments. Only those who get this far will understand. And now, let's continue with the story. During the event, Alex stays close to Emily, but tensions rise when some of the partners and guests start making subtle and prejudiced comments about her presence, questioning her suitability in that environment. One of the most influential partners makes an insensitive remark about her condition, saying something like, "It's rare to see someone with your limitations at events like this." The comment, made with disdain, leaves Emily visibly uncomfortable, but she tries to keep her composure. Alex, however, becomes enraged. He, who has always been calm and composed in business situations, can no longer tolerate the prejudice and judgment surrounding Emily. He confronts the partner publicly, openly defending her. This act surprises everyone, especially Emily, who had never seen Alex be so protective and open about his feelings for her. This confrontation, though brave, creates even more tension between Alex and his partners, who now start questioning whether his personal relationship with Emily might be affecting his professional decisions. The situation at the event shakes Alex deeply. He realizes that his feelings for Emily are deeper than he thought, and he acknowledges that he has been living trapped in a superficial image, worried about others' opinions. After leaving the event, he and Emily have a sincere conversation. Alex, visibly emotional, admits that he is in love with her and doesn't care what other people think. For the first time, he exposes his vulnerability, something he has never done before, showing that he is willing to face any obstacle for her. Emily, on the other hand, is deeply moved by Alex's actions. She never expected him to take such a public stand in her defense, and it touches her own emotional barriers. However, she is still insecure, as she doesn't want to be seen as someone who needs to be saved or protected. Emily fears that their relationship might be built on pity or charity, not genuine love. Despite the emotional progress between Alex and Emily, new challenges arise. Alex's proposal for international expansion is getting closer to being finalized, and he needs to make a decision. If he accepts, he will have to spend several months out of the country, meaning leaving Emily behind, and potentially losing the chance to continue exploring their relationship. Additionally, the tension with the company's partners also starts to grow. Some of them threaten to distance themselves from Alex if he continues to be publicly involved with Emily. They see the situation as a distraction, something that could affect the company's image and its relationships with high-profile investors. Alex faces a tough choice: continue his successful business path, maintaining his peers' approval, or follow his heart and risk losing part of his empire. At the same time, Emily is also going through a moment of introspection. She starts to question whether she is ready to open her heart to Alex, knowing he comes from a world so different from hers. Despite all the signs that he loves her, Emily is still afraid of being hurt, especially by someone who has so much to lose. In an emotionally charged scene, Alex and Emily meet in a quiet place, away from the curious eyes of work or the outside world. They have an honest conversation about their fears and hopes. Alex admits that he has always lived based on others' expectations, but Emily has shown him something new: the importance of truly connecting with someone and valuing what really matters. He confesses that he is willing to give up the international proposal and face any challenge, as long as he can be with her. Emily, still cautious, says she doesn't want to be the reason for him sacrificing his career or his dreams. She believes Alex might be making an impulsive decision, driven by the heat of the moment, and asks him to think carefully about what he truly wants for the future. She encourages him to follow his dreams, even if it means being apart for a while. This conversation leaves Alex in an emotional dilemma. He is torn between the love he feels for Emily and the duty he feels towards his career and his partners. Both agree to take some time to think and decide what is best for each of them. Their relationship, although strong, now faces a definitive test, where they both have to make decisions that could change their lives forever. After the deep conversation, both Alex and Emily go through moments of individual reflection. Alex returns to his luxury penthouse, where silence surrounds him. He feels the weight of his partner's expectations and the responsibility of maintaining the company he built with so much effort. At the same time, he is deeply shaken by his feelings for Emily. For the first time in his life, Alex faces a decision that cannot be solved with money or power, choosing between the woman he loves and the expansion of his empire. Emily, on the other hand, is in her simple apartment, reflecting on everything that happened. She has always been strong and independent, and the last thing she wants is to be an obstacle for Alex. Despite the love she feels for him, Emily fears that their relationship could be a burden for him, especially with the challenges her physical condition brings. She is also aware that, to many, her wheelchair makes her seem less suitable for someone like Alex, and this makes her insecure. However, deep down, she knows that true love doesn't care about appearances. In the following days, Alex tries to concentrate on work, but his mind is constantly on Emily. He begins to rethink his priorities and realize that the life he built, based solely on material success, has not brought him true happiness. Despite being surrounded by luxury and power, Alex feels an emptiness he has never experienced before. He realizes that his connection with Emily has brought him something money can't buy, a sense of purpose and authenticity. Meanwhile, Emily faces her own emotional battle. Sarah, her best friend, tries to encourage her, reminding her of her strength and worth. Emily starts to question her own fears and insecurities. She realizes that, by distancing herself from Alex, she was trying to protect him, but in reality, she was underestimating both herself and the love they shared. Over time, she decides that if Alex truly loves her, she needs to trust that love and believe they can face the challenges together. Alex, in turn, begins to take steps to change his life. He calls a meeting with the company's partners and makes an impactful speech. He declares that, while international expansion is important, he will not sacrifice his personal happiness for it. He reveals that his life changed when he met Emily, and that she made him realize professional success is not everything. This speech divides the partners' opinions. Some support him, recognizing the courage of his words, while others distance themselves even more, suggesting that Alex is letting his emotions affect his decisions. Alex's decision is clear. He will not let external pressures dictate the course of his personal life. He decides that, regardless of others' approval, he will follow his heart. Emily, after deep reflection, also makes a decision. She realizes that by trying to protect Alex from her own fears, she was closing herself off to the possibility of a happy life with him. She decides it's time to face her insecurities head-on. Emily decides that if Alex truly loves her, she must allow herself to be vulnerable and trust that love. She goes to Alex's office, determined to have an honest conversation. When she enters, she sees Alex looking out the window, lost in thought. When he sees her, a relieved smile appears on his face. They sit and talk again, but this time, the conversation is different. Emily tells Alex that if he truly loves her, she is willing to face the challenges with him, but she needs him to see her as his partner, not as someone who needs to be protected. Alex, emotional, promises he will never see her any other way. This conversation marks a turning point for both of them. For the first time, Alex feels free to live the life he truly wants, without worrying about others' opinions. He realizes that the love he feels for Emily is more important than any professional success or social approval. Emily, on the other hand, feels empowered, knowing she can be loved and respected regardless of her physical limitations. She finally accepts that her wheelchair doesn't define her, and that she is worthy of being loved for who she truly is. Together, they decide to face the future hand in hand, knowing the path won't be easy, but that true love can overcome any adversity. Alex resolves to continue working on his projects, but now with a new perspective. He doesn't need to sacrifice his personal life for his job. He starts to balance his career with his relationship, ushering in a new phase of his life. Emily, for her part, decides to continue her life as she always has, but now with Alex's support. She understands that she doesn't need to give up her independence to be with him, and this strengthens her even more. They become partners in every sense, learning to support each other. Alex and Emily are closer than ever, but the road to full happiness is still far from smooth. External pressures and tensions continue to challenge them. News of Alex's relationship with Emily, a woman in a wheelchair, starts to circulate in the media. Sensational headlines emerge, trying to exploit the romance in disrespectful ways, focusing more on Emily's disability than on the genuine love they share. High society and some of Alex's investors begin to question his commitment. At a charity gala dinner where both are invited, one of the partners, visibly uncomfortable with the situation, makes subtle comments suggesting that Alex is letting his emotions interfere with business decisions, implying that his relationship with Emily could harm the company's reputation. During the dinner, while Alex and Emily try to stay calm and enjoy the evening, an incident occurs. A journalist, known for being relentless, approaches Emily and starts asking invasive and insensitive questions about her physical condition. The moment becomes tense, and Alex intervenes, demanding the reporter stop. However, the damage is already done. Emily feels exposed and humiliated, and all her insecurities resurface. She discreetly leaves with tears in her eyes, and a furious Alex publicly confronts the journalist, demanding respect. After the dinner, Alex looks for Emily, feeling guilty and powerless. He finds her in a garden, alone, visibly shaken. Alex sits next to her, but before he can say anything, Emily speaks. She expresses her frustration, saying she doesn't want to be a burden to him and that maybe their love is doomed to face these situations repeatedly. Emily reveals her fear that by being with Alex, she is preventing him from living the life everyone expects of him, a life without complications. Alex, deeply moved, takes Emily's hands and looks into her eyes, sincerely saying he doesn't care what others think. To him, Emily isn't a complication, but the person who brought him happiness and meaning. He confesses he has never been as happy as he is with her, and that he's not willing to give up this love because of others' opinions. Even so, Emily hesitates. Alex's words comfort her, but she still fears that society and external pressures could destroy what they have. At that moment, something happens that puts everything into perspective. A dramatic incident occurs at the event exit. As everyone is leaving, a runaway car heads towards the crowd. In the ensuing chaos, Emily in her wheelchair is pushed forward, directly into the car's path. Alex sees the scene unfold in slow motion. Without thinking twice, he runs to save Emily, throwing himself in front of the car and pushing her out of the way. Both fall to the ground, but Alex is grazed by the car and loses consciousness. The crowd gathers around them as ambulance sirens echo in the background. When Alex wakes up in the hospital with minor injuries, the first thing he asks about is Emily. She's by his side, unharmed but with tears in her eyes. This traumatic event serves as a catalyst for Emily's realization. Seeing Alex risk his life for her, Emily finally understands the depth of his love. She realizes that, despite all the challenges, true love is worth all the risks and sacrifices. With a trembling voice, she leans toward Alex and says, "I was so afraid of being a burden, but now I realize the real burden would be living without you." Alex, his eyes filled with emotion, smiles and responds, "You never have been and never will be a burden, Emily. You are the reason I want to be a better person." This emotionally charged moment seals their bond. They understand that together, they are stronger than any adversity the outside world can throw at them. With the incident and Alex's heroic rescue going viral on social media, the narrative around their relationship changes. The public, who once criticized the couple, now sees their love story as something inspiring and genuine. Emily is no longer seen as just a woman in a wheelchair, and her strength and courage are widely admired. The press, which once attacked them, now portrays them as a couple who defied all expectations and proved that true love transcends all barriers. Alex, with his charisma and firm stance, makes a public statement defending their relationship and declaring that the true value of a person is not in their appearance, but in the depth of their character and the emotions they share. His speech moves thousands, and he gains even more respect, not just as a businessman, but as a man of principles. Alex's act of saving Emily from the accident gained even more traction than expected. The media, initially focusing on their relationship negatively, now completely changed its tone. The incident not only drew public attention, but also sparked a wave of support and empathy. Emily, previously seen only as the receptionist in a wheelchair, was now recognized for the strength and courage she showed in facing adversity with dignity. Emily's transformation was not just public. Internally, she underwent deep reflection. The fear of being a burden, which had haunted her since the beginning of her relationship with Alex, completely dissipated after the event. She realized that the love she shared with Alex transcended physical limitations and societal judgment. More than that, she understood that her value was not in her physical abilities, but in the strength of her spirit and who she was as a person. After fully recovering from the accident, Alex continued to surprise everyone with his attitude. He didn't step away from business, but he also didn't let the corporate world dictate his personal life. In an emotional press conference, he made a statement that touched many hearts. Alex shared how Emily had changed his life, how he found true purpose and love, and how he was willing to face any obstacle to keep it. Emily showed me that true success in life isn't measured by how much we achieve materially, but by how much we are capable of loving, sacrificing, and standing firm in difficult times. She taught me more than any business book or corporate experience ever could. Alex's words resonated throughout the room, and at that moment, the public that once judged the couple began to see them as an example of overcoming challenges and unbreakable love. Within Alex's company, there was a significant shift in corporate culture. Inspired by Alex and Emily's story, new inclusion and accessibility programs were implemented. Alex made sure to emphasize that everyone, regardless of their physical circumstances, should have equal opportunities. He launched an initiative to hire more people with disabilities and ensure they had the same chances for growth and professional development. Let's have some fun with those who only read the comments. Write Coca-Cola in the comments. Only those who make it this far will understand. Now, let's continue with the story. The partners who once doubted Alex's ability to balance his personal and professional life were surprised to see that instead of harming the business, his relationship with Emily brought a new vision to the company. Profits increased, and the company's public image strengthened as a progressive, humanized, and innovative enterprise. The company's stock soared, and Alex was hailed as a leader who not only thrived in business, but also showed rare empathy in the corporate world. Meanwhile, Alex and Emily's relationship blossomed in ways they never imagined. After the incident, they decided to get away from the city for a while and spend a few days in a quiet place, away from the spotlight. During this trip, in a small country house that Alex had bought for moments of peace and reflection, he did something Emily didn't expect. One night, under a starry sky, while they were talking about their journey together, Alex kneeled in front of Emily. With a sincere smile and tears in his eyes, he took a small box from his pocket and said, "Emily, you have changed my life forever. I can't imagine a future without you by my side. You have taught me what true love is, and I want to spend the rest of my life showing you how much I love you. Will you marry me?" Emily, overwhelmed and with tears streaming down her face, looked at Alex with a heart full of joy. "Yes," she replied, almost unable to speak from the emotion. "Yes, I will." They embraced tightly, feeling the weight of the adversities they had overcome together. That moment was the culmination of everything they had lived through, the beginning of a new phase built on an unbreakable love. Alex and Emily's wedding became a symbol of hope and love for many people. They chose a simple ceremony, surrounded only by their closest friends and family. The event was intimate but full of emotion, reflecting the journey they had taken together. Their story inspired so many people that even those who once doubted the authenticity of their relationship now believed in the transformative power of love. After the wedding, Emily became an active advocate for the rights of people with disabilities. She began giving talks, sharing her story, and fighting for a more inclusive world. Alex supported her causes, using his influence to ensure necessary changes were implemented in various sectors. Internally, Alex and Emily felt that despite all the difficulties, they had grown and strengthened. The experience of facing prejudice, overcoming fears, and challenging expectations brought an even greater sense of purpose to their lives. Together, they created a foundation to support people with disabilities, promoting inclusion and accessibility. Emily, who once felt insecure and limited, now saw the world with new eyes. She knew the love she and Alex shared was strong enough to face any storm. And more than that, she discovered an inner strength she had never imagined possessing. Alex and Emily, now more united than ever, walked together towards an uncertain but promising future. They knew new challenges would arise, but they also knew that together, they could face anything. Their love became a beacon of hope, showing the world that no matter how great the obstacles, true love can overcome all. 5 years had passed since Alex and Emily's wedding, and their lives had taken even more surprising and inspiring turns. The couple, now known not only for the love that brought them together, but also for their contributions to society, continued to make a difference in the world. The foundation they created in support of people with disabilities thrived, helping thousands of people find job opportunities, education, and access to resources that were previously limited. The house where Alex and Emily spent their first years together became a symbol of their journey. It was located in a quiet part of town, surrounded by trees, with a garden carefully tended by Emily. For them, that space represented more than just a home. It was the place where their lives intertwined definitively, where they faced adversities and where they built their future together. Their foundation had grown exponentially. Emily, with her passion and vision, was instrumental in expanding the institution's services. They not only offered job opportunities, but also created mentorship and emotional support programs for people who, like Emily, faced daily challenges in a society often unprepared to meet the needs of those with disabilities. Alex used his business expertise to ensure the foundation had sufficient resources to continue growing. His reputation as a businessman was further solidified, and he was seen as a leader who not only thrived financially, but also deeply cared about the social impact of his actions. The business world, once cold and ruthless for him, now became a place where he could make a significant difference. Alex and Emily also had a new reason to celebrate: the birth of their first child. Emily had always dreamed of becoming a mother, but at the beginning of their relationship, she felt this was a distant possibility due to her physical limitations. However, with Alex's support and her own determination, they managed to make this dream come true. Little David, who inherited Emily's bright eyes and Alex's determination, brought even more joy and meaning to their lives. Alex and Emily raised their son with solid values, teaching him from an early age about empathy, compassion, and respect for all people, regardless of their physical conditions. For them, David was the living symbol of the love they had cultivated and the overcoming of adversities they faced together. In the years that followed, Emily became a respected public figure. She started speaking at international conferences, writing books, and inspiring millions with her story. Her name was always associated with the fight for inclusion and accessibility, and many saw her as an example of strength, courage, and resilience. Despite all the attention and fame, Emily never lost her humility. She constantly remembered her roots when she was a simple receptionist struggling to find her place in the world. Now, she used her voice to ensure that other people in similar situations had the same opportunities she had. One sunny afternoon, Alex and Emily were sitting in the garden of their home, watching David play among the flowers. The moment was calm and serene, a reflection of what their lives had become. Emily, smiling, took Alex's hand and looked at him with the same eyes that had won him over on the first day. "Did you ever imagine our life would be like this?" she asked softly, her tone full of gratitude and love. Alex smiled, squeezing her hand. "I never imagined it would be this good. I knew that loving you would be the best decision of my life, but what we've built together goes beyond any dream I could have had." They sat in silence for a moment, enjoying the peace of that instant. Emily knew that her journey to this point hadn't been easy. She had faced deep fears, uncertainties, and many challenges. But looking at Alex and the life they had created, she felt immense gratitude for believing in the love and strength that united them. Alex and Emily's story was not just a love story, but one of transformation, overcoming, and purpose. They showed the world that even in the face of the greatest adversities, true love and the determination to move forward are enough to change the course of a life. Their example inspired couples, business people, and especially people facing barriers, both physical and emotional, to believe that anything is possible when you have love and faith. For Alex, who once lived in a world where success was measured only by financial gains, the journey alongside Emily taught him that the true value of life lies in the connections we create, the people we love, and the legacy we leave for the future. Over time, Alex and Emily continued to expand their foundation, travel the world, raise their son, and inspire thousands of lives. Their story became a living example that, regardless of circumstances, love is the most powerful force of all. They proved that true success in life is not in material achievements, but in the ability to love, overcome challenges, and make a difference in the world. Alex and Emily together built a legacy of love, inclusion, and resilience. The bright future they created for themselves and others was a direct reflection of their courage, determination, and above all, their faith in the transformative power of love. And so, under the afternoon sky, surrounded by flowers and laughter, they knew that, regardless of the challenges that would come, the love they shared would guide them for the rest of their lives. What did you think of Alex and Emily's story? Leave your opinion in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss the next stories.